Good. And let's continue with this pandemic. How do you think the pandemic has affected your high school experience?
Negatively. Grade 9 and 10 were literal suffering for me, and most of grade 11. In grade 8, I was like this, and then grade 9 and 10 were dropped down as if it's like a stop line. So yeah, I wish to never endure such misery again. Like COVID and online made me the worst I ever was as a student. I would cheat from my friends, use Google during exams. I know others do, but well, so what? It's okay. That was the stuff. That was the time of public and entire suffering. So we were in a time of complete depression because we were locked in our houses 24/7.
And I want you to compare, I'm sorry, by the way, for that negative influence on your life and on your education. I want you to compare yourself with before the pandemic and after pandemic. Would you compare your performance
From what perspective?
in terms of education? That's right.
Terms of education, before I would be interested to open my homework. Now I don't even care to open Google Classroom and just check it. If I have something to do, I will just do it at school and then tell my mother I have nothing to do. I'm really back at home at school. Yeah.
I'm sorry for that. And in your perspective, what can we do to just make the situation better? Now, let's say now we are in the post-pandemic era. What can we do to just
re-enlight some the fact that I'm a student who's on the verge of graduating and throwing the graduation cap above my head, signifying that I'm done with my school life and I'm going to a university, which will then lead to my job life, my heavy responsibility. I will have a heavy load on my shoulders, taking care of my father, my mother, my children, if Allah allows me to have children, my wife. It will be a heavy load, my house payments, medical, etc.
Yeah, you're right. Now let's move on. As you talked about future, just you triggered the idea of standardized testing. In your perspective, I want to know the role of standardized testing in the education system, such as TOEFL, IELTS, or SAT, these exams. Do you find them necessary, helpful, or what's your general perspective on them?
Before entering high school, I thought of them as useless because some universities, such as Istanbul's university, such of universities, they just accept the high school papers and transcripts, and that's it. You can enter and officially be a student there. But recently, when I started to dig deeper into the information and listen to some people from the 2023 Ihsan Career Fair. So yeah, from them I gained information that you need to do such exams because they give you more chances of being, for example, the top 2 or top 3 students to get there, or for example, a scholarship campaign would assist you to enter such a nice university.
That's good. It's good that you have done that research. And how effective are standardized tests in your
Very. My sister, for example, she is now a student at Yıldız Teknik University in the architecture branch with an SAT score of 1,000.
That's really good.
Even though it has never happened in like Yıldız history, but it happened. So yeah, kudos to her and wish her the best of luck.
That's so good. Now, let's talk about the procedure or the best ways that we can implement as high school students to achieve our goals in the future. How do you think high schools can better prepare students for the real world?
What I would say is make like every summertime with the sports program that they put, they can put like a parental guide. Because all of us are gonna enter the verge of being a parent one day, so at least just a PowerPoint or a brief explanation of what a parent's job is from its deep and long and complicated perspective is something that might help us instead of what we see. What we see is way more different than what actual parents will tell us.
That was good, very good point. Now, about the high school. What do you think is the most important lesson you've learned in high school so far?
That success doesn't come with shortcuts, that you have to work hard to stay at the top of the mountain or else you're gonna crumble like just a piece of, let's say, chalk that you break in half and that's it. So you have to keep reassessing yourself week by week, day by day, minute by minute, 24/7 in order to stay on the top of that mountain and never crumble off.
You yourself, how do you assess your improvement as a student?
Before, I was very weak in mathematics, to say the truth, but recently, 2 days ago, I just passed the exam for mathematics with a 90 out of 100.
That was really good, bro.
So yeah, I would say it was a jump and a big leap than what I used to score, like say last year, which was unfortunately 35s and 40s, because I was, like I said, mathematically weak.
That was really good. Good job. And now, I have a controversial question. How do you think high schools can be made more enjoyable for students?
What I would say is, instead of like just sitting in a class every day 24/7, what we can do is have something called an online focus group. For the ones that are weak in something, focus on that one point and just implement it for a set of, like, say, a week, and then assess yourself on it. Say, for example, in YOS, I just finished my small time of YOS. I got some help of it. Every 2 weeks, the teacher would assess us on a set of lessons, and then based on the grade, we would see if the other quizzes would be higher than that or the first quiz or not.
That was really good. And I'm glad that it was enjoyable. How about other ways that we can implement in schools, in, let's say, state schools or private schools, to make the lessons and school more enjoyable? Because based on my experience, some students find the schools boring. And that's why I want to know your opinion on this matter.
For example, say Mr. Aziz, he applies comedy into his lesson. He never lets us feel bored during a minute in the class. He has to make us laugh during the lesson in order to reboost ourselves for the focus of the lesson, or else he would just see us sleeping or on our phone book or secretly just playing with our phones.
All right, that's good. Using comedy also is one way. That's good. Any other ways? Any other suggestions?
Group work. Having a lot of group works around the class can help because they make more friendships and they show the differences between a student's skill set and another student's skill set.
All right, thank you. Let's talk about your future plans. What are your plans and goals for the future?
I actually have 3 goals. One of them is to become a professional basketball player, which is my severe passion, something I wouldn't go a day without. Another one of them is a hotel CEO, hotel management courses in a university. And then maybe I would go to maybe meds or policing and laws.